Right, so welcome back to the Now Morning Show. This morning, I told you guys we're going to be chatting about a whole bunch of other things. A whole bunch of things, really and truly. And this morning, we're going to kick things off talking about community mediation services. And to help me do that, I want to welcome a representative of Mediation Division of the Ministry of Sport and Community Development. Renee Williams is on the line with us. Good morning, Renee.
Hi, good morning.
How are you doing this morning?
I'm okay, Gregory. Thank you.
All right, so tell me, what is mediation really?
So mediation is the opportunity for persons who are in conflict to come up with a solution that they are comfortable with.
Okay.
So the role of the mediator is not to tell persons what to do, like when they go to the magistrate court, but the role of the mediator is to facilitate a discussion between two parties and help them to understand the underlying issues of the conflict, because sometimes when persons come to mediation, there's all the noise, the background noise, the bacchanal, but the underlying issues of the conflict is not necessarily evident to them. So the role of the mediator is to help them to understand the underlying issues of the conflict and come up with a solution that is best for them. At community mediation, we facilitate mediation between many different types of cases,
right,
both family and civil issues.
Okay. And what is the community inclusive mediation project about?
Okay, so the Community Inclusive Mediation Project is a collaboration between the United Nations Development Program as well as the Community Mediation Services Division, which is under the Ministry of Community Development, Culture and the Arts. The role of the project really is to bring mediation closer to the persons in the community. So we trained 25 persons from Carenage, South Oropouche, and Sandy Grande, and this started in March the 2nd to the 6th. And the role of the project really is to help parties, persons in the communities say, listen, I have an issue. They may want to go to the courts. They may want to come to community mediation, but they may not even know where to start, because again, a lot of people don't know about mediation. So the role is to get persons who are stakeholders in the community, active in the community, counselors, persons who are active in their church, persons who are active in community groups, train them in conflict resolution skills, so that when it is they go into the community, they can help persons who have conflict, right? Because sometimes persons may not want to go to the court, they may not want to go to a third party,
right,
but they would speak to these persons who are already in the community, and they are aware of what conflict exists in their community, and they can de-escalate the conflict through mediation without it escalating to another agency, or sometimes it escalates to violence.
Tell me, I heard you mention the court a couple of times there, right? But what is the difference between the community mediation and the court annexed mediation?
Okay, so community mediation, that framework is really about going into the community. So persons learn the skills in their community, as opposed to court annex mediation, where it is you go to the court and the magistrate or the judge will say, listen, you have to go to mediation.
Okay.
Right? Long ago, in Trinidad and Tobago, we had something called the Panchayat. This is where our elders would sit under a designated location, sit at a designated location, whether it be the tree, the community, meeting place, whatever the case might be, and they would assist persons in resolving the conflict. We want to go back to that point. We want to go back to the point where persons are saying, listen, I don't want to have to go to a legal mind where I have to stand a particular way. I have to have somebody represent me. I can't say what I want to say. I can't use my voice.
Right.
We want to get back to that point where you are in the community and you can have your issue resolved in the community. And that is what the community mediation framework is about, right? As opposed to any court annex framework. And don't get me wrong, the court is one of Community Mediation Services Division's biggest stakeholders, but it is still someone saying, go to mediation.
Yeah.
It is still someone saying, try this option. And we want to get to the point where even before you reach the court, you can see that this is an option.
Okay, so for me, it sounds as though you want to go back to the days when we can all sit together and we can say, all right, let's work this out and find the best solution for everybody, right? But in this fantastic year of 2020, when we have COVID-19, how much trouble has that been getting this project to roll out?
Oh my goodness, yes, it has been really a challenge getting this project to roll out. When it is, as I said, we would have launched and had the first training, the basic mediation skills training in March 2nd, 36th. And then by the 20th of March, we were hearing that we would close. And then the 30th of March, everything shut down,
Yeah.
So we had to transition to virtual training, mentorship, I should say, and helping the participants because we didn't, in the stages of the program, we had the basic mediation training. And then we had a mentorship period where we wanted to ensure that the participants really understood the skills and how it would work in their community. Because as we both know, when it is you go to school, you get that theory, you don't get you might be a little uncertain, when it is you actually start to work, when you actually start to implement it. And we had two really fantastic mentors who was working with them, training them, doing actual mediations with them to help them to understand how this is going to work in their community.
Okay, and, so Renee, tell me something. What is the virtual symposium going to be about?
Okay, so we have invited persons from all across the region as well as stakeholders in Trinidad and Tobago. And the UNDP, along with community mediation under the Ministry of Sport and Community Development, is going to be hosting a symposium where it is we help persons from across the region to understand the project, the processes that went in place in implementing the project, as well as the benefits and challenges we encountered while implementing this project, and also implementing it in a different way than we thought we would have gotten to implement it.
Okay.
Right. So it's a virtual symposium happening on Wednesday, which is tomorrow, from 9:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. And we are using this opportunity to speak to our regional partners, other regional stakeholders in the region, to say, listen, this is what we did. We want to know if it is you are interested in implementing a community mediation framework in your community. Okay. There are persons who have mediations in the region. The OECS has a court that has court annexed mediation, but as I said, we want to bring mediation back into the community.
Fantastic. Well, Ronnie, I want to thank you very much for joining us this morning and for sharing some of this information with us. And I know people can contact the Ministry of Sport and Community Development to get more information on the mediation division. Yes. So thank you very much for joining us, and all the best tomorrow with the symposium.
Well, thank you very much.
All right, take care.